When we're ready with your hand, just give signal. Okay, Dave Silverman, I read very little about your biography, and atheists.org.
Atheists.org, right.
Atheists with plural s.org.
Yeah.
The audience, if you're interested about the organization, you can go there. It is American Atheist Organization. You are the new president.
I am.
And you are a happy atheist. I have seen very grumpy, sad atheists. It is nice to see a happy with sense of humor. Right.
By and large, the majority of us are the happy atheists. The stereotype is the grumpy atheists, and to be sure, we have our grumpy atheists.
Yes.
And we certainly have our grumpy atheists in our organization. But by and large, the vast majority of the atheists that I've met are happy, well-adjusted people with a good sense of humor.
Beautiful. Religious people claim that they save humanity. Anyone who accepts their version, their story about God, that they will attain eternal salvation, they will end up in heaven. And those who do not subscribe to their belief system and perhaps not support with money and stuff, they will end up in hell.
Right.
This is their carrot and stick. What you have, carrot and stick?
We don't have a carrot and a stick. We actually do not have anything except honesty. The fact is that religion was created to make it easier to deal with the fact that we're going to die. It was created to make it easier to understand our own mortality. It basically takes away our belief in death. If you think about it, Muslims, Jews, Christians, whatever their religion is, the religious people don't believe in death. They believe in a physical death, but spiritually, they believe they're immortal. They are never going to die. That's a fundamental commonality between all religions. And that's because that's the purpose of religion, to give that carrot, to give that stick. Atheism is the absence of religion. We're going to die. We're going to die just like every other living thing in the universe. Whether you like that or not, it's true. I don't like it. And I want to make it very clear, I don't like it. I want to live forever. I want my daughter to live forever. I want my mom and my wife to live forever. And I want you to live forever. But it's not going to happen. I want lots of things that aren't going to happen.
Okay, you think that because people want to live forever, they are more prone, vulnerable to the idea of God, and it is introduced by people either in good intention to provide them with a rehabilitation, with something that will keep them happier, correct? Like opium.
Right.
Or to maybe control them, another kind of cynical way of looking at it, to control the masses.
Yes.
Like we had land and the white men had the Bible in their hand. Kenyatta says, when they came to our country and they said, let's pray. We prayed, and then when we opened our eyes, we found out that they have the land, we have the Bible.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, goodness. First of all, I'm not atheist, and I did an interview before you in Los Angeles with Michael Shermer. I don't know whether you know him.
I know Michael.
Yeah, he's the
good man, very smart.
Yeah, I like him, and I have been following Skeptic magazine for a long time. In fact, in my philosophy classes, sometimes I use his and Randy's exposition of hoaxes and religious charlatanry, and I pretty enjoy their work. But again, I said I am a rational monotheist. Have you heard about that?
Well, no. Why don't you tell me about it? I've heard the phrase rational monotheist, but
really, you heard? That's beautiful.
I've heard the phrase, but I've heard a lot of phrases.
I need to turn off my phone, and this is a big mistake I made. Okay. Now you should turn off.
I already have it on silent.
Now, Michael Shermer
did that.
Good. Now, Michael Shermer, we had two interviews with him, two sections. One section, my friend sat down, asked him direct questions, and he answered pretty well. There were no follow-up or cross-examination, and he did very well. But when I entered the scene, I asked some question. I expected him not to answer all of them. Obviously, you're not claiming to be God, correct?
Correct.
Omniscient, knowing everything.
Correct.
Or the Father in charge that has answered for all the questions.
Right.
Okay.
I would like to be God.
Okay. Well, and when I cross-examined Michael, and interestingly, the last issue of the Skeptic, which just 2-3 hours before the interview, we learned it was about Islam and Quran.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the chief editor of the Skeptic magazine, and I thought it's very good also timing, because we could ask questions about the Quran too, as well as about Christianity stuff. But when we a little bit discussed, he says, I have not read the Quran at all. I have no idea about it. That's okay, I said. But what I am saying really doesn't require you to read the Quran, because I will give you some examples. If they are true, put an if.
Mm-hmm.
If they are true, what do you think? What is your interpretation? You can say Muhammad was a very smart man, or he knew the sciences, or he was very great mathematician and also fiction writer, whatever. But you could make some judgment, or you could say, I don't know. I will make judgment later, but at least try to learn about that.
Okay.
And his reaction was something I didn't expect. He a little bit engaged with some discussion. At the end, when I provided some examples, he felt that he was not in comfort zone. And then he says, I look like an idiot. I don't want this section to be aired. And we promised that we will not air that section. But he gave permission for the first section because they were easy balls. It was catching easily. Okay. Now, my first question for you would be, not first question, the second question. Why you prefer to become atheist rather than agnostic or deist or theist? Christian, many flavors of Christianity,
right.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
And sub-flavors.
Right.
And so-called Islam, and which means peacemaking, but we see really not association.
So
yeah.
You
Well,
can call it whatever
I
you
will
want.
talk about this figure. I saw it here.
Yes.
What is this?
I have a story about that.
Oh, okay.
I have a
We'll
story
talk about
that.
it. There is a bomb on the head of this guy.
Yep.
This is supposedly Muhammad.
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about this one too.
I'll talk about.
Okay.
I'll be happy to talk
and
about
then,
that.
just tell us about your story, if you can, and summarize in 2 minutes.
Sure.
how you
2 minutes is a tough one, and you asked actually 2 questions.
Okay, go ahead.
You asked why atheist versus agnostic or secular humanist, and then you mentioned Judaism, Christianity, Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Judaism, Christianity, Islam are religions. Okay, you don't choose not to believe in the religion. You look at them and you think about it and you make a decision. You can't choose to be a Christian any more than you can choose to be an atheist. Any more than you can choose to believe that the earth is round. You believe what you believe, you think what you think, based on all of the surroundings and all the pieces of evidence that you bring in through your life. So I'm an atheist because I've looked at religion, not so much the Western religions and not so much Islam. I've looked at Judaism and Christianity and to a lesser degree Islam, and I had decided that it's all crap and that you don't have to study all the religions in order to know that religion is crap.
You made induction.
Yes.
Based on some experiences. You say they have similar common denominators.
Yeah, many
Okay.
similar common
Okay.
denominators.
Okay.
This is why, I don't know very much about Shintoism. I also don't know very much about Islam. I don't know very much about Mooniism or Scientology. But that doesn't mean I have to study them in order to say that they're crap. The other part of your question, why atheism versus agnosticism? They're the same thing. Okay, atheism and agnosticism are really the same thing.
They're not. Atheism is stronger conviction regarding statement that there is no God.
Not really.
Okay, go ahead.
Not really. Atheism is the absence of a belief in a God. It's the absence of a religion. Now, you can be absent of a belief in God and not know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Nobody in this universe knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly don't know everything. So does that make me an agnostic? Yes. But it also, because I'm absent of any belief, because I have no belief in a God, I'm an atheist. So there, a lot of people believe that there's they believe a misnomer. They believe that agnosticism is a stepping stone, a matter of an extreme, and atheism is the extreme. And agnosticism is kind of a, well, I'm not sure. Well, if you're not sure, you're still an atheist. You just don't have a belief in a God. You're a different kind of atheist. There are many different kinds of atheists. Agnostics, the people who call themselves agnostics, are a type of atheists. Then there's the type of atheist that I think I am, which I call a conclusionary atheist, which means you've looked at the evidence, you've read some books, and you've come to the decision that God is fiction. This still does not mean you know everything. I have come to the conclusion that Santa Claus is also fiction. When Santa Claus lands on my roof, I will change my opinion. Okay? I don't claim to have gone to the North Pole. I don't claim to have studied the possibility of flying reindeer. But I think it's fiction. I'm pretty darn sure of it. When evidence comes into play that shows me differently, I'll consider it.
Okay, now...
Hold on one second.